Welcome back for part 3. Yeah, just to wrap up here now, as you can see on the minimap, the German forces are pretty much hemmed in their base and just getting pounded by artillery, mortars, howitzers, tanks, infantry, you name it, it's being hit by it. But at the end of the last video I was talking about how the AI has improved a little with the latest patch in this update. I've noticed a couple of things. One of the most impressive ones is friendly skirmish AI. I've noticed if you've got wounded units, as in they've lost 1 or 2 guys, they will actually move, in the US case they'll move an ambulance over to that unit's position to allow you to reinforce. Although they won't heal you and the medics won't jump out to heal your troops, it does allow you to bring your squad back to full numbers. The German and the Soviet counterparts will use half-tracks and they'll drive them over and do the same thing, which is a nice touch. It's kind of cool they notice that. They do more often as well have their engineer units repair your vehicles. If you leave one sat there long enough, they will actually move over and start fixing up damaged tanks or half-tracks and scout cars, which is, again, is quite good. It gives it that extra little bit of flexibility again with the AI, and certainly shows quite a nice improvement over how it was at launch. Other aspects of the AI is still sometimes a little too they sometimes get a little bit stuck in their ways. They will constantly call in things like artillery guns, despite the fact that really what the AI needs to focus on past a certain point is infantry units and vehicles, if they can, or anti-tank guns and infantry, because when they're bringing in mortars at that point it's too late. Being predominantly a ranged support unit, you know, you're trying to take it point blank against infantry or tanks, it's kind of silly. So I'd like to see Relic try and fix up the AI behaviour in that regard. But in a normal match, in the early to mid stages, the AI is pretty smart with its troop composition these days. They do bring in a mix of support weapons and heavy weapons and mixed infantry units, although it's rare that you'll see them bringing in any elites in any high numbers. You do at least get them bringing in elite units, and you do see quite a varied mix. I think in this match against the Oberkommando Vest, you do see them bringing in things like Panzer Fusiliers, Panzer Grenadiers, they bring in obviously Pioneers. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 others. It depends on the doctrine, although I haven't seen them use the... they have a Luftwaffe ground doctrine, like the Panzerlehr did. They don't seem to bring any of those units in, so it seems to be very specific doctrines. But then you don't really see the friendly AI for the US one ever use the armor doctrine, I don't think, because I haven't seen them yet bring in M10 Wolverines. It may just be maybe I've not played enough matches, or maybe I haven't really set the criteria. But yeah, overall, the AI will give you a good fight if you're sort of if you're like me, a casual or a sort of intermediate player, but not someone who plays regularly to fight other people. I imagine any of you out there have played this game competitively, the AI must be a breeze for you. And it won't be any different here. The AI will still be pretty piss easy compared to an actual real life person on the other end of those units. Things I don't really like about the package, because really I've been talking a lot about the positives. I think the map offering is kind of weak. I think we're only talking about 6 to 8 maps. I think a couple of them are a bit samey. There are 2 snow maps that are very similar to each other. There's this one, and there's I think the one's something Lanzaray Ambush or something. Neither of them are that impressive. Ettelbruck Station it's designed for 6 to 8 players, but it's very tight. It's actually a very, very, very small map. It's almost like a 4-player map turned into a 6 to 8-player map with no expansion on the actual width. It certainly makes for vicious AI comp stomp matches, because it pretty much funnels everything into this central sort of urban train station area. It's one of my favourites, but I do think it's kind of odd that they allow you to have 8 on that one. Leon or Lien Forest is quite good. That's a nice mix of sort of farm areas and forest, but there's just not enough. There's not really enough out there compared to what's currently available. I mean, this package for if you buy both of the armies together, it's £15. If you buy them individually, they're £10 each, so it's a better deal to get both. But I don't think you get enough maps because there's no campaign mode, there's no theatre of war mode, so it's not like you've got stuff to do afterwards. This is just for people who are competitive or just for people like me who like to play comp stomp. So I think they kind of dropped the ball on that. I can understand some players' frustrations with the new loot drop system. The fact that now you just have to play to unlock the stuff you've paid for. I think the commanders probably should have all been there, or maybe they should have been tied to rank, possibly. I wouldn't be surprised though if they do make them available as paid DLC in the future. But I think they may need to tweak the values. I think you should be getting a drop every 2 games, maybe. So, I mean, I've played 4 consecutive matches in a row and never got one, and then at other times I've played 3 matches and the 3rd one I'll get an item. So it does seem to be very, very subjective and random at times. I'm not quite sure whether you know you get ones every now and then. You may hear like you may hear in this match at some point, although I don't get a loot drop. You will sometimes hear what sounds like a sniper's bullet as it cracks through the map. I'm not quite sure what that's for. I don't know whether a unit has achieved a certain veterancy or something's been activated. I have no idea. I hear it every now and then on maps, and I have no idea what it means. So it'd be nice to really get a bit more information going forward there. Yeah, it's quite stable. I mean, I've shown off some of the vehicles. The details are nice, the graphics are nice, infantry are very well modelled. It's nice to see them actually modelling the tank crews for the US Army rather than just having riflemen looking like the tank crew. I like the way that they've made the US forces and the OKW. I'll show the OKW in another set of videos shortly. I've just got to basically upload them to YouTube when I get a chance. But you'll see how both play very differently. You would have seen in this match how the Oberkommando W or Oberkommando Vest units don't seem to have traditional base buildings. They have something that's very similar to how the British Army or the Commonwealth Army worked in Company of Heroes 1 with mobile base vehicles. They've sort of taken that idea, they've tweaked it a bit, but I'll go into that in a bit more detail later on in that other series video. But yeah, overall it is a decent package. You just really do your research before you go in, because if you're expecting a campaign or anything like that, you are going to be seriously disappointed, because this isn't that kind of thing. I think Relic have stated they are working on looking into doing a campaign mode that may involve the new armies that they've added. It wouldn't surprise me if there's now a Theatre of War pack or 2 in the works that will probably add a few new commanders specific to those areas. It wouldn't surprise me if we get like a D-Day Theatre of War pack that may have a few different unit types, and it wouldn't surprise me if we get one that might be a Battle of the Bulge pack. As long as it adds like 1 or 2 new maps and some new commander options and stuff, I think it would be fine. Campaign, I'm not really bothered. I mean, is anyone else really bothered about campaigns in RTS games these days? I mean, online gaming's become so competitive. I'm not sure how many people these days are really invested in campaigns, but still, I wouldn't begrudge them, and I agree that I wouldn't turn my nose up at campaign. I've got to say, Relic have done very good work despite the controversy surrounding the initial Company of Heroes campaign work that they did. I think this package could do with a bit more fleshing out. Yeah, audio is great. I do really like the vehicles sounds. I like the weapon sounds. The incidental dialogue, you know, when you zoom close into an infantry unit and just listen to their sort of banter or their little remarks, is quite varied. There's a lot going on there. Yeah, mechanically they play different. They're not OP. They don't seem to be massively unbalanced. So yeah, if you've been holding out, waiting for them to do Company of Heroes 3 or bring back the good old US Army for Company of Heroes, then here it is at last, just for you. I don't think you'll be disappointed with the offering. It's a very fresh take on a very tired sort of front for World War II games, and they've certainly livened up the US army list, and I'm sure there's room for more expansion there as well. From Critical Rocket, thank you for watching. Keep your eyes peeled for the Oberkommando Wehrmacht videos that will be coming along very shortly.